to round out the second match week of this brand new MLS season. We got two games that's going to be happening during Sunday, and what's interesting about these two games is that it's going to actually start very late. The first game between the Timbers and Nashville starts at 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific time. And the second game will be between LAFC versus the Union, which doesn't start until 10:30 p.m. Eastern and 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. And when I look at both of these games and in terms of the kickoff time, this just makes me feel so much happier, the fact that this year I am doing the review into two parts. Because imagine last year where I decided to do the review after the final game of the match week, and imagine the fact that I have to review all 13 games right around 9:30 p.m. where this game is going to end, and how long that's going to take. I mean, that would just be an incredible, crazy thing to do on a Sunday night, and I'm just glad the fact that I'm not doing that anymore. And what I'll probably have to do is that on Saturday, or not Saturday, but on Sunday morning before these two game kicks off, I will of course do the review of all 11 games that happening on Saturday. And then on Sunday, once this game finished between the Union and LAFC, that's when I'll review these two games, and that it should be relatively quick, and I don't have to basically do a review all the way up to midnight before I go to sleep and have to wake up early for work on Monday. But that being said, let us begin with the first game. And by the way, there's no timestamp in this video because there's only two games that I'm previewing, and it should be a relatively quick video. But the first game is between the Timbers and Nashville. So Portland and Nashville are coming into this game after both of them losing in their season opener. The Timbers, of course, lost 3-1 at home to Minnesota, while Nashville lost 2-1 in their first ever game in MLS to Atlanta United at home, and that this is going to be the first ever meeting between both of these teams. Now, last week, I made a bold prediction involving a game that Nashville is in, and for the second week in a row, I'm going to do the same thing and make a bold prediction with Nashville involved in their match. And I'm going to pick Nashville to win this game. Now, I thought last week, Nashville, they were very unlucky to not get a point out of that game against Atlanta, because I thought they played good enough that they should at least deserve a point out of this game. And they were kind of also being a little bit hard done by the referee in that game, which, if you're a Nashville fan, get used to this, because this is something that pretty much all 25 other MLS teams have to deal with in terms of refereeing. Sometime is going to have to go against you. But again, I thought they were hard done by that, and that they probably should have got a point out of this game, or out of that game. And I have a feeling they might redeem themselves and maybe get all 3 points in this game against the Timbers. Now, the thing that makes this prediction bold is that means Portland is going to lose back-to-back at Providence Park, and it is not very often, besides last season, that Portland struggle at home, which seems like it has carried into this new season. But even then, it is very rare that the Timbers lose back-to-back at home, especially their first two games at home. But I just feel like, with the combination of Portland and Savarese still haven't really figured out what's the right tactics and what's the right lineup he wants to play this Timbers team. And the fact that I think Nashville will definitely be very motivated, and kind of also notice what has happened to their community over this week with the tornado that, of course, hit their area, that they're definitely going to be extra motivated, that they want to win for their fans that unfortunately have to suffer that devastating tornado over the week. So with that extra motivation, I think they can not only potentially get their first ever win, but probably get one of the biggest upset of this week. Because after all, we know the Timbers, they are no strangers in terms of surprising results against expansion team. I mean, last season when they played against FC Cincinnati, they of course lost 3-0 in that game. And yes, I know that was a game that was on the road, but that was also kind of the Timbers team and a Savarese team that was still trying to figure out in terms of the roster and also the tactics of this team. So this seems like it could be very similar, and that I won't be surprised if Nashville does get the win in this game. Now, that being said, moving on into the last game of this week, is between LAFC versus the Union, which again it starts at 10:30 p.m. Eastern and 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. And I got a feel for a Union's fan here because, yeah, it's brutal to watch your team play whenever you play an Eastern or a Western Conference team that starts at 10:30 p.m. Eastern and 7:30 p.m. Pacific. But it's even more brutal, the fact that this is on a Sunday and that, yeah, some Union fans going to have to try to pull an all-nighter and then have to get up incredibly tired on Monday if they have to, of course, go to work early on Monday. But in terms of this matchup, obviously, LAFC have won their first matchup, and they, of course, won 1-0 against Inter Miami at home, which wasn't convincing, but they got the job done in that game, and they're able to win another season opener. While the Union, of course, lost 2-0 to Dallas away, and in the last two head-to-head, this is the third meeting between LAFC versus the Union. The last meeting, it was a 1-1 draw between both of these teams, and then in the last meeting at Bank of California Stadium, LAFC absolutely ran Philadelphia off the table as they won 4-1 against the Union. And because of that, I'm going to say LAFC is going to win this game. And, you know, I know they have a midweek game against Cruz Azul, and I know probably Bob Bradley might think about rotating some of his team, but, you know, this is LAFC. And I know for a fact that Bob Bradley, not only he knows that he's going to have to balance CCL and also MLS, he knows that he wants to win both. And if it means putting the best squad in every single game to win both of those competitions, then of course he will do that. So yeah, I think LAFC should win this game, and keep in mind, whenever LAFC is playing at home, most likely I'm going to predict them to win because they just have this record at home, and that this is probably the toughest place out of any other home field around MLS to able to get something out of it. And the Union last week, they definitely did not look impressive against Dallas, and that it's going to be a big turnaround for them to at least get something out of this game against an LAFC side that they know that they'll probably maybe rest some guys, but they also know that this is not a game where they want to drop points, and that they want to once again get off to a fast start and prove people that not only we're going for the Supporters' Shield again, but we are actually going to finish the job and win MLS Cup this year. But yeah, there you have it. That is pretty much it for my preview of these two games. Let me know in the comments below what do you think of these two games, and as always, make sure you guys leave your prediction below for these two games or the other 11 games that, of course, is going to be happening on Saturday. Before I go, I have just received news today that the Quakes versus Minnesota game is going to go ahead on schedule. So, despite the fact that there was fear that game, of course, might be postponed, and alongside with the Seattle versus Columbus game that could be postponed because of the coronavirus, both of these games looks like it's going to be scheduled. And, you know, for me, I'm definitely happy the fact that the game goes ahead, but also I hope that, you know, I don't get infected by coronavirus when I go to watch that game. And really, just for my best advice in terms of this whole coronavirus situation, and I'm pretty sure some people have already told the public, is that, you know, just wash your hands. Like, if you just wash your hands, the likelihood of you potentially getting this virus is going to be extremely low. And also, if you are a person that either have a weak immune system or the fact that you are kind of like an elderly person, then yeah, don't go to these games and just try to avoid this game. I believe the Quakes even released a statement saying that, you know, if you're 50 or over or you have a weak immune system, then it is recommended that you do not attend this game. So yeah, just kind of follow that guidelines and hope that, you know, of course, you won't contact it. And if you do contact the virus, the first thing to do is make sure you get tested, go to the hospital, and don't spread to another person, because spreading to another person could be even worse than actually you getting the virus itself. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.